everyone, my name is Marian Grayway and this is my Communications 205 Week 1 Introductory speech that I'm going to be giving to you guys today. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about my parents' culture and my grandparents' culture and how that has helped form me into the person that I am today and the traditions that I follow and what I will be passing on to my own children. So to start off, my grandparents on my father's side are Polish, French, and Scottish. And on my mother's side, they're English and German. So a lot of European culture, a lot of European influence, not a lot of strong traditions that we really follow anymore. My families both came over to America quite a while ago, so there's not many of the traditional European things that we typically stick to. However, my families, both sides, my mother and my father, both grew up in the north, and now we live in the south in Georgia. So there's a few different traditions that kind of clash there that I had to learn about growing up, and that are kind of mixed into the culture that I have now. So in the north, there's a few different things that are quite different from how we do things here in the south. One of those things is games. There's a few different games that I grew up playing that are not traditionally Southern games. For example, Minnesota Blues, Shanghai Rummy. They're both northern games that are played in the Midwest quite frequently that aren't really known down here in the South. So my family grew up as avid game players. I was playing cards when I was really, really little, learned how to play these games and taught them to some of my friends down here in the South, and they love it, and it's super fun. Another thing that's a little bit different is the food that they eat up in the north. One of the things is monster cookies that my grandmother used to make us, and if you don't know what a monster cookie is, it is basically a giant cookie. They're like this big, and they're a mixture of oatmeal raisin cookies, chocolate chip cookies, a bunch of different things, pretty much whatever you want, snickerdoodles, all of that thrown in there together in one big cookie, and they're amazing, completely wonderful. But that's another thing that they don't traditionally have in the South. So I grew up with my family's northern traditions, but down here in a southern home, which was a little bit different than how my friends who grew up in the South traditionally grew up. So I have a mix of the northern and southern culture in there, and it's been really, really interesting to kind of learn these things, and I plan on passing these games and this food down to my children and helping them learn a little bit about how their parents and grandparents grew up in the north, even though I now live down in the south. So super excited to do that, and I have really enjoyed getting to learn a little bit about what life is like up for my parents when they grew up in Michigan and Indiana, and getting to know the contrast of us living down here in Georgia now. So thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.